Have you ever waited years for something you believed would change your life, only to feel nothing when it finally became yours? That quiet emptiness is more common than people admit. This is the story of a young man who learned that the hard way. In a remote valley surrounded by dusty hills and quiet farmland, there lived a young merchant named Adrian. He wasn't just wealthy, he was obsessively wealthy. Traders from distant towns spoke of his success with admiration. Shopkeepers lowered their voices when he passed. To them, Adrian was proof that ambition always paid off. His estate stood taller than every house in the region. Locked rooms hid stacks of gold coins. Silk, gemstones, rare art, and exotic goods filled his chambers. Guards patrolled day and night. From the outside, he had everything. Inside, he felt nothing. Every morning, Adrian inspected his treasure rooms. Every evening, he checked locks and counted profits. He trusted no partners. He avoided conversation unless it involved business. Smiles felt unnecessary. Laughter felt childish. At night, he lay awake on expensive bedding, staring into darkness. A strange heaviness pressed against his chest. He ignored it. "I just need more," he would tell himself. "Another deal. A bigger shipment. More assets. Then I'll feel satisfied." Years slipped past in this cycle. One afternoon, a traveler arrived at his gate. The man wore plain clothes, dusty boots, and carried a weathered satchel. His beard was streaked with gray, but his eyes held an unusual brightness. Calm, alert, almost amused. "I've heard," the traveler said gently, "that you are the wealthiest man in this valley." Adrian straightened with pride. "That's correct." The traveler studied him carefully. "I once knew someone richer," he said. "He died surrounded by treasure, and not a single person mourned him." Adrian's expression hardened. "If you're here to lecture me, leave. I'm here to offer you something better than wealth." Adrian almost laughed. "Impossible." The traveler reached into his satchel and removed a folded parchment. "A map," he said. "It leads to a kind of treasure few people ever find." Adrian leaned forward. Curiosity overpowered skepticism. "What's the price?" "One valuable item," the traveler replied. "And you must come with me." The offer sounded absurd, but Adrian's greed whispered louder than his doubt. He handed over a rare sapphire and agreed. They left at sunrise. The journey was immediately uncomfortable. Adrian wasn't used to walking long distances. Dust clung to his clothes. His shoulders ached beneath the weight of supplies. His expensive boots blistered his feet. "Why not travel by carriage?" he complained. "Some paths must be walked," the traveler answered calmly. They crossed forests and uneven terrain. Adrian stumbled repeatedly. His patience thinned. On the third day, they reached a fast-moving river. "We cross here," the traveler said. "There's no bridge." "Then we walk through." Adrian hesitated, clutching his heavy money pouch. "Leave unnecessary weight behind," the traveler advised. Adrian refused. Halfway across, the current tugged violently. His pouch slipped from his grip. Coins vanished into the rushing water. He shouted in panic. "Keep moving," the traveler called. Soaked and furious, Adrian reached the opposite bank, poorer and shaken. Yet beneath his anger was a strange sensation. He felt awake. Weeks passed. They visited villages Adrian had never noticed before. In one small town, a humble family welcomed them for dinner. The meal was simple: bread, vegetables, warm stew. Yet the table overflowed with laughter. The children played games. The parents told stories. Everyone spoke freely. Adrian watched quietly. "You don't have much," he said carefully. "How are you so content?" The father smiled. "Because we share what we have. That's enough." Adrian had no response. For the first time in years, he felt something crack inside his emotional armor. They continued through mountain paths and open fields painted gold by sunset. Adrian began noticing details he once ignored. Birds gliding on warm air, the scent of rain on soil, the way light shifted across distant hills. These moments asked nothing from him. They simply existed. One evening beside a fire, Adrian studied his roughened hands and torn clothes. Strangely, he didn't feel diminished. He felt lighter. "When do we reach the treasure?" he asked quietly. "Soon," the traveler replied. At last, they arrived at a narrow cave hidden within the mountains. Inside stood a single object illuminated by lantern light. A tall mirror. Adrian frowned. "Where's the treasure?" "Look closer." He stepped forward. The reflection made him freeze. The man staring back looked drained, tense, and hollow. His eyes lacked warmth. His posture radiated isolation. It was him, but it was the version shaped by obsession, fear, and endless chasing. This, the traveler said softly, is what wealth without meaning creates. Adrian's voice trembled. Can it change? Yes, but not by collecting more. Then how? By living differently. By valuing moments over possessions. By allowing experiences to shape you. The words struck deeper than any insult. When Adrian turned to speak again, the traveler was gone. The journey home felt different. Adrian walked slowly, helping strangers repair carts, sharing meals, listening to elders, and playing games with children. Each interaction filled the emptiness he once tried to bury under gold. When he returned to his estate, the treasure rooms felt cold and lifeless. He began selling his possessions gradually, keeping only what he needed. Then he left. He traveled across coasts, deserts, and mountains. He learned new languages, tasted unfamiliar foods, and formed friendships with people from different cultures. He celebrated festivals, comforted grieving families, and watched countless sunsets paint the horizon. Years passed. His hair grayed. Lines marked his face, but his eyes glowed with life.